We're at Gillette Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots lose bigly, Curtis, 30-13 to the 49ers, and I am at a loss for why Drake Maye will probably come on this show at 9:30 this morning and tell us that Jacoby Brissett is still your starting quarterback.
The best part about the game was it was great background noise for people to fall asleep to.
Yes.
New England, I could hear everybody snoring. It was sad to watch.
Yeah.
There wasn't a part, start to finish, that I was like, here's a little bit of hope. Zero.
Yeah, no.
There was none at all.
No, there was.
I don't think I've ever had that experience where I was legitimately offended by what I saw. Where you have the fumble, the pick six, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this was all known to Robert Kraft. Everybody looked at this offensive line and said, if they lose Andrews, they're already cooked.
Mm-hmm.
The injuries are not unexpected on the offensive line. It's just how bad are you going to get hit? Every year, every team suffers 1 to 2 catastrophic injuries among the 5 offensive linemen. And you watch that, and Robert Kraft has the audacity to be bitching to people about getting into the Hall of Fame 4 straight years, 1 and 3. One common denominator, the owner, and cheaping out on this team. There's no other way to describe it. They elected to force their fan base to watch that product yesterday, and it is pathetic. It is so pathetic. Look at all the teams that have rebuilt once or twice in the last 5 years.
It is. You talk about the pick six. That is, from a veteran quarterback, unacceptable. Not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. Ramondre Stevenson with another fumble.
Yet again.
That's 4 in 4 games. That is unacceptable.
Right.
It is. And you're right, Curtis. There's some dereliction of duty there when you lose Trent Brown and you don't do anything really to replace him or care about what your offensive line is going to look like. And how do you expect going into the season with Jacoby Brissett that you're not going to need to have an extraordinary offensive line in some way, shape, or form?
And even without watching our game, watching the other games around the league where most of the teams are sitting at 2-2. Like, you look around the league, besides the Chiefs and besides the Seahawks and besides the Vikings, nobody else is undefeated. Everybody is kind of having these random losses, these upsets. But watching the teams that have beat our team and then how bad they look against other teams that aren't that much better. Like
you mean like the Jets?
Yeah,
yesterday?
it's just it makes us look so much worse.
Well, that was so great, that Jets loss. But yes, you're right. And I would say this as well. Watching the BC football team is my whole life. You would watch BC at noon, and then at 3:30 you'd put on CBS and you'd see Alabama, and you'd be like, this isn't even the same sport. Watching the Patriots offense and every other offense in the NFL, it's like watching those god-awful BC teams where a completed pass is cause for celebration.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it, I blame Robert not for the fact that he didn't want to spend money because we know they went after Brandon Ayuk. I blame him for hiring Elliott Wolf and putting Elliott Wolf in the position of not saying we need to do something with the offensive line or saying, you know what, we don't like what's available out there in the offensive line, so we're just going to kind of go like, to the flea market shopping for a couple of offensive linemen because we don't really think there's anything worth spending money on in the O-line. I blame him.
Wait, but who hired Elliott Wolf?
That's what I said. I blame Robert for hiring Elliott Wolf.
So you think Elliott Wolf didn't want to spend money this offseason?
I think that Elliott Wolf got to a position, and they kind of said this a little bit when it happened with the Calvin Ridley thing, if you listen closely, where they kind of said, we like him, but we don't think he's worth that type of money. Now
Calvin Ridley was at the end of the offseason.
No.
You had the entire offseason to build the offensive line.
Yes, and I think what they did, or what Elliott Wolf did with the offensive line, I don't think he felt like there was guys out there worth spending money on, so they cheaped out because we know they were willing to spend money on because they were willing to make Brandon Ayuk the highest paid wide receiver or give him what, $85 million?
Just because I put my hand on my wallet when the bill comes doesn't mean I'm willing to spend money.
Well, no,
I'm
but,
right here, Curtis.
But that's all we
I
can,
am right here.
That's all we can go on.
No, we go on what they actually spent, not who they reportedly wanted to spend
No, but
on.
what I'm saying is we can only go on that they had the best offer out there for Ayuk.
I don't care about that at all. I really don't. I think that the way this team built their roster this offseason was
And Elliott Wolf misappropriation of being to evaluate talent out there. And I think Elliott Wolf said, we are not going after – we don't think there is any top-tier offensive lineman. That's why they went after the kid. Who was the kid that they the one free agent they went after? Like, basically they were shopping in the bargain bin when it came to O-linemen.
But Curtis is right. It's really – and I understand your question, and we can talk about it all morning. It's on the owner. I mean, I don't think it's on anybody else.
Well, that's why I said for hiring
That's the
Elliott
bottom
Wolf.
line.
Well, yeah.
But he also is the decider. I don't care what you say.
there's no more silos.
Of who signs the check.
Right.
Like, it is all on Robert Kraft.
And
And,
I
it
hate-
can't be on Robert
Well, I
Kraft
don't
when
know
things are
what you
going
guys
well and
want.
not when...
I don't know what you guys want. You either want an owner that stays out of it or you want an owner that gets his nose in it. So if Robert
No,
says...
I want an owner that puts a lot of money into the roster.
Right, but if an owner says, hey, I'm hiring you to go out there and get players, and then this GM, Elliott Wolf, goes, well, you know what, there's no one really worth spending on in the offensive line market. We're going to kind of, we're going to go the lower route of signing guys in that effect. The owner is basically like, okay, I'm taking what you're telling me and going with it. You want the owner to come down and go, no, we need to be signing this guy, that guy?
I want there to be a difference when signing guys compared to the Bill Belichick approach, because that's what Kraft told us it would be.
And
it would be different than what we've seen in the past. Things were going to be different around here, and I haven't seen any difference.
And I would also add that I hate when powerful people act like they are powerless. And Robert Kraft would have you believe that he's the most powerful owner in all of the NFL. Yet when it comes to his roster, he's taking orders from Elliott effing Wolf. Give me a break.
So then what is he doing then?
The product is unwatchable.
It's awful. It's a disgrace.
And I would imagine that come Sunday, I mean, I guess the weather's going to be great. And, I mean, it's NFL football on a Sunday, so there will be some people here. But I can't imagine after that what you saw yesterday on the heels of what you saw Thursday night, the prior against the Jets, and short of Gerard Mayo coming on this show at 9:30 this morning and saying that Drake Maye is the starter, that there are going to be an awful lot of people here against the Dolphins on Sunday. It's unwatchable.
I was in Southie last night, and I saw people out and about like there was nothing going on in the world. The Patriots have made their team disappear. And I don't begrudge anybody turning this team off. What you saw yesterday was the end result of an offseason where your organization said we were starting a new day, building the foundation of the next long dynastic run. We all hoped. What's the foundation of a football team?
I would say it's your quarterback.
I would say it's the offensive line because
okay.
you need to protect everything. It is the most important. The two lines in the NFL protect the most important thing. So how do you conduct a rebuild if you don't have a foundation? And I don't care what they say, Wiggy. I don't disagree with what you're saying, that Elliott Wolf probably thought people were going to be overpaid and Chaim Bloom was stuck to numbers in baseball. Maybe that's what he's doing. On May 10th, you looked at this offensive line and you said, that's not an NFL-ready offensive line. You had ample time and opportunity.
Right, but that's on Elliott Wolf. You know why I put it on him?
I put it on the guy that hired him.
That's why I said I blame Robert Kraft for hiring Elliott Wolf, because I don't think Elliott Wolf is good enough. And here's the reason why I know that it's on Elliott Wolf. When you look at free agency, I mean, not free agency, but when you look at the quarterback situation, they had a couple opportunities, whether it was to go get Russell Wilson, whether or not you like him or not, whether it was to go get Justin Fields.
That's right.
What did they do?
Lamar Jackson.
No. I'm just talking about those lower level backup quarterbacks.
They had the opportunity.
What did they do? They went out and got Jacoby Brissett. Where did Jacoby Brissett come from?
Bin.
Where did he come from? He came from Cleveland.
With Alex Van Pelt.
Who Alex Van Pelt he had a relationship with. Who has a relationship with Alex Van Pelt? Elliott Wolf. So Elliott Wolf is building this offense around guys that him and Van Pelt are looking at. Because when you looked at the free agent quarterback market, you could have went out and got Flacco. You could have tried to go get Russell Wilson.
Gardner-Minshew.
You could have there was a number of guys that were better than Jacoby Brissett.
Right.
But because Elliott Wolf empowered Alex Van Pelt, they brought in Cleveland guys. So when I look at this, I blame Kraft for hiring him because I think Elliott Wolf goes, hey, Robert, there's no one really worth spending money on in the offensive line area, but we're going to sign a few of these lower-level guys, and I put the O-line problems at the foot of him. That's where I blame Robert. I don't blame Robert for not spending the money because you can't tell me all these rumors and all these people that know were like the Patriots were willing to spend more money for Brandon Ayuk.
But in the actual free agency, I'm not talking about August. I'm
Okay.
talking about over the course
March.
of the NFL free
March
agency.
and April.
Did you ever hear the Patriots in on number one level caliber players across the NFL?
No.
They were never engaged.
Well, just the Calvin Ridley stuff. And then they came on and said, well, you know, Gerard Mayo came on and said, we like Calvin Ridley or there's guys out there, but maybe we don't feel like this guy is worth that type of money.
Well,
That's their
and-
evaluation.
And to be clear on this argument, when you refer to Robert Kraft hiring Elliott Wolf, you mean elevating Elliott Wolf.
Or elevating
He's
him.
been
Yeah.
here for 2 years.
Right.
Bill actually hired him.
Right. And I
so
would say I actually respect Elliott Wolf for this. He's hired a coaching staff where he won't have to replace anyone when they take a head coaching job elsewhere.
well,
Bit of a
it's-
cold, Wiggy?
No.
Oh, you sound a little bit.
He's worked up this
Yeah,
morning.
choked up.
Coach is fired up this
Well, this
morning.
team sucks. I was at the Daily Catch watching the game with some friends, and in the third quarter,
Chime, ding. Ding on
ding
the
it up,
Gilligan.
Sean.
Ding it up.
I don't eat seafood.
I know, what's
but
he eat?
Ding it up. Ding it
I
up.
just had a Caesar salad.
Oh, good man.
Then,
You love Caesar salad.
yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
when I go to seafood
You know
restaurant.
there's anchovies sometimes in those.
Yeah, but I make sure they don't put them
No
on.
anchovies,
But
please.
it was like after the big catch or the interception by Jabril Peppers, somebody was like, yeah, can you change this game and put the Kansas City game on? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't fighting it. I was like, all right, let's
Yeah.
watch the Kansas City game.
Well, it's a Patriots Monday, and we are at Gillette Stadium.